Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. Joel A. Baker. You have the power to be the boss of your own life. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, best-selling author, lifelong learner, and your biz bestie. I have a love and passion for all things small business. Growing my own company from $700 to over 7 figures annually, my goal is to bring you inspiration, business-focused topics and tips, encouragement, and a community that helps you launch, grow, and scale your business, whether you are a dreamer, a side hustler, or a seasoned entrepreneur. You are listening to the Become Your Own Boss podcast. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2024. Last week, we traveled to California on Christmas Eve to do something a little bit different. We decided this year that we would pay a visit to some friends that we haven't seen in years instead of giving the kids a bunch of presents or exchanging presents ourselves. And it turned out to be a fabulous week. We spent 2 days at Universal Studios, and both our kiddos got to experience Super Nintendo World. Legend absolutely loves Mario and Luigi and all the things that go with Super Mario. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not a huge video gamer, but he had so much fun, and Imana did as well. We enjoyed their roller coasters, and we got to check out the back lot of Universal Studios, which was a lot of fun. It is so cool to see where so many movies and TV shows are made, many on the same street, but looking at it, you would never know that. So talk about having a vision. The art that goes into making a movie or even a TV show takes some amazing creativity. We also took a tour of Hollywood, getting as close as we could to the Hollywood sign and passing by celebrities' homes. That was really neat, even though you can only see the front and they have all these huge trees and you really can't see much, but it was still nice to know that certain people lived in certain places. And we also had the opportunity to visit the Warner Brothers studio, and Iman and I took a picture on the iconic Central Perk couch from Friends, and we got a entire family picture in front of the water fountain from the Friends intro. So all in all, a lot of fun in LA. And then after we left LA, we took a train to San Diego, which I recommend. It was nice to avoid highway traffic, and I was able to get some work done on the train, which is very difficult for me in a car because I get sick whenever I look at my phone for too long or my computer or even try to read a book in a vehicle. I love going to San Diego because it is so beautiful. And we have some fellow entrepreneurial friends there that we stay with, and it's always so much fun to connect with them and bond with them, talk business, talk about goals and growing and the desires that we have for our business and our families. And what was really super, super amazing and cool this time when we visited them, we hadn't seen them since before the pandemic. I think it was 2018 was the last time we actually saw them. So the kids have all grown so much, but we both have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they all get along splendidly. But before we left on New Year's Eve, we all sat down at their table and we talked about goal setting because it just came up in conversation with the adults, and our friends wanted us to share with them our methodology for goal setting. We were explaining that we do this with our kids every year for like the past 3 or 4 years. And they thought, oh, this would be great for us to share with our kids as well. So that's what we spent about 2 hours working on New Year's Eve. And it was so great to just see the kids come up with their goals and outline them and do all those things. Since we are at the beginning of a new year, I personally find that this is a great time to set goals. Some people call them resolutions, but to kind of just get your mindset in a place of getting things done, getting those things accomplished that perhaps you didn't get done last year, or things that you just want to get done this year or in the next couple of years. And so I want to spend this time on this episode just kind of walking you through our process. If you've been listening to the podcast a while, you know I've done this in the past, but I wanted to do this again for any of the new listeners out there. And so I want you to first go and download a worksheet at getgoalsdoneworkshop.com. The link is also in the show notes. But if you can go download that worksheet, this way you don't have to do a whole lot of writing. The worksheet will give you a good foundation on where to start. I love this quote by Catherine Pulsifer. It says, setting goals allows you to paint a vision of what you wish your future to be. And so this is an opportunity for us to take a moment to just paint the vision for ourselves. Now, it doesn't mean that every single thing that we write down is going to come to fruition, but that's okay. It's really great just to have a map or to have a plan to get things done that we desire. And it's really about your desire. It's not about anyone else's. I mean, of course, you want to include your family in your thought process, but it's really about the things that lie on your heart. So let's walk through that today. And if you do find that you have any questions, you can always direct message me on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to help. One of my favorite quotes is by Stephen Covey, and it says, begin with the end in mind. So as we begin to work on this worksheet, I want you to think about what you would like the end of 2024 to look like. What would you like your life to look like? And while giving that some thought, I want you to ask yourself these questions. And this is where the worksheet comes in, and you're going to fill in the boxes. What do you want to have done? What do you want to do in 2024 to make your life look different at the end of the year? What or who do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to have learned at the end of 2024? What would you have liked to have changed? And what do you want to give or have given? So again, you want to project out and kind of look back on how you would like things to look differently. And then you want to fill in these boxes. Do, be, have, learn, change, and give. And you aren't limited to one. I have, for example, some of the things I want to have done by the end of this year is I want to have exercised a minimum of 5 days per week. Now, if I do 7, great, but at least 5. I want to read my Bible every day. I want to be a better swimmer at the end of 2024. That was a goal of mine for 2023. Didn't quite get there. Got to work on that this year. I want to have more freedom of time. I want to learn how to 5X my business. And I'm not sure what that looks like, truthfully, but I want to learn that. I want to change my sleep pattern. I want to actually get 7 hours of sleep uninterrupted. And I want to be able to give, or I want to have given $1,000 per month to churches that mean a lot to me, as well as some additional funding to other charities that are important to me and my family. So those are just some of mine. There are definitely more in each category, but those are just a few to give you examples. Keep in mind that this is a working document. You can put down everything you want or that you're thinking of right now, but you may come back and revisit and change some things in a few weeks or in a month or so. So don't feel like this is concrete and stuck in stone, because that's not the case. But I do want you to take some time to write these things down. I know you're listening to the podcast right now, but perhaps over the weekend or next week, you can take some time to complete your worksheet. Now, after you complete the worksheet, one of the things that we do in our family is we actually create a vision for our goals. So I am twofold. Ethan does a vision movie. I do a vision board and a vision movie, but I use the same images. I go out either on Canva or on Google and I search for images that represent, to me, the goals that I want to accomplish. So, for example, being a better swimmer, I might grab a photo of someone swimming, or freedom of time, I may grab a photo of a clock that's broken or something like that. But they're examples for me to use, and I put those on a sheet in Canva so I can print it and put that in my planner. I also can put it on my mirror if I want. But I also take those images and drop them in an album on my iPhone, and then I can use that album as my watch face. And so this way I'm literally seeing my vision every single day. I am making that vision more concrete every single day by looking at my watch, looking at my phone or a slideshow, looking at the paper in my planner, looking at the paper on my mirror. Whatever works for you, but it really is important to capture that vision. So this does take some time on the front end, but on the back end, I do really believe you will see some benefit from this. Now, the third step to this, and this is where I use the planner I created some years ago, the Become Your Own Boss planner. I will actually take my goals, my vision, and I will break them down monthly. And then I will, under that month, write down the 3 or 4 or 5 things that I actually need to do to get those things done. I call them milestones, or you can call them steps, because they are literally steps or milestones to get that item done. And this is really important. It's an important step that a lot of times people miss, but it's difficult to get something done if you aren't clear on what the steps are to actually get it done. So, for example, if I want to change my sleep pattern, what are the steps that I need to take to get that done? Well, the first step is I probably need to decide what time I'm going to go to bed and what time I'm going to wake up each day, and make a decision on what things do I need to do to not wake up in the middle of the night. So for me, I need earplugs because my kids like to wake up, and they often, any little movement that they make in the house will wake me up because I sleep very light. Or I need to put on a sound machine or something to help me. But those are the things that I have to decide, and I have to write that down in order for me to accomplish that goal. So that's your third piece, is writing down the things that you need to do to get the goal done. And you may not be able to work, if you have 20 goals for the year, you may not be able to work on all of them. More than likely, you're not going to be able to work on all of them every month. So you want to take 2 or 3, break down the milestones for those, and work on those. The Become Your Own Boss planner can help you with that, but you can also just make a note on your own page, or if you use a planner or you use your phone, whatever way that works best for you, just creating kind of a checklist of steps to get your goal done is vital. However, if you do want to grab the planner, you can see the link in the show notes to do that. But again, you can also just use your phone or use a checklist. But I do suggest keeping it all in one place, so you don't just do Post-it notes, because then they end up everywhere. Get you a notebook. Get something that you can keep it all concisely together. And whatever you use, put that vision board or vision page on that item as well, so you can see it every single day. I truly hope that you will take some time today or next week, before we are so in the throes of the new year. Take some time to download the worksheet, listen to this episode again, and get this done for yourself. Another quote, you all know I love quotes, but this is one that really can resonate with anyone, and especially if you're an artist. But remember, you are the artist of your own life. Don't hand the paintbrush to anyone else. This is and that's unknown. I don't know who said that, but you are the artist of your own life. Don't hand the paintbrush to anyone else. This is so important because you write the vision. Take some time for yourself to get this done. for you. And again, if you have any questions or thoughts on it, feel free to direct message me on Instagram. Oh, before I go, one of the things that my friends and I are doing with the kids is we actually have already set a date to present our vision movies to each other. Accountability is so important as well. So maybe that's the fourth step. Having someone to hold you accountable to your goals. And so in a couple of weeks, we're all getting back together, presenting our vision movies via Zoom, because we're not flying back out to California. And we are going to share these so we can actually touch base throughout the year with each other to see how our goals are going. So find an accountability buddy. I can be that for you if you want, but find an accountability buddy. Thanks so much for listening today. I am wishing you a prosperous, blessed, and happy 2024. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on TikTok and YouTube at Become Your Own Boss Podcast. If you could also take a moment to rate, review, and share the podcast, that would be amazing, and I would greatly appreciate that. Remember, now is the time. Now is the time to level up, leave a legacy, and become your own boss.